This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Motorcycle rider remains in a critical condition after crashing his Harley-Davidson in Lagana overnight. Police say speed may have been a factor.
The powerful Harley lies in a crumpled heap on the side of the highway. Its rider was found unconscious by police, who arrived at the scene around 6 o'clock last night.
We understand, or preliminary investigation suggests that speed's been a factor in the crash.
The male rider was travelling north when he failed to negotiate the roundabout at Acropolis Drive. Investigators remained on scene in the hours following the crash, trying to work out exactly what happened before impact.
We would appeal to anyone who saw the motorcycle riding through Riverside and into the Lagana area tonight to contact police.
Traffic was diverted while paramedics treated the 41-year-old.
The rider was brought here to the Launceston General Hospital, but his injuries were so severe, the decision was made to fly him to Hobart for further treatment.
The official cause of the crash remains under investigation. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
More than 50 watercraft have circled Tassal's East Coast salmon farm today, vowing to take their fight to an international stage. Environmentalists, fishers and locals are continuing to protest against the Okehampton Bay expansion, saying they've lost faith in the two major political parties.
Storming their way to Okehampton Bay, a flotilla of more than 50 watercraft sending a clear message against Tassal's salmon farm expansion.
We want to keep this area clean, green, fit for our children.
87.35% of the locals say no way, go away.
The contingent circling the Okehampton operation with concerns over its potential environmental impact. Frustrations boiling over as the government's new growth plan looks to further expand the salmon industry.
This hyper-industrialised salmon farming plan that they've got is really out of touch with what Tasmanians want.
Fishermen fear the industry is being prioritised, claiming wild fisheries are being left by the wayside.
We put up 5 issues for discussion, not one of them got through. This is what we're up against. We're totally ignored, as if we're of no consequence.
Protesters say they've lost faith in the two major parties.
They don't trust Labor or Liberal. They're perceived as one and the same, and they've come out, both of them, in support of the salmon industry.
There's currently 4 pens here at Okehampton Bay. At its peak, the fish farm will see 28 pens hosting 800,000 fish.
We're absolutely focused on delivering a balanced outcome here, and we want to grow jobs and protect the environment, and we believe we've done that.
We know that we need to have really strong monitoring and independent monitoring, and Labor's been arguing that for some time.
Not all boats today in protest. Tassal saying its priority is to maintain stringent environmental protocols.
You've got an industry that is hell-bent on expansion and the Liberal and Labor parties cheering them on. We don't believe that's what the community wants.
A fight protesters are now vowing to take global.
We are going to fight this fish farm and we are going to win it.
Jacqueline Robson, Southern Cross News.
The state government is preparing to push its tough on crime position in Parliament this week. Legislation will be introduced to phase out suspended sentences for serious sexual, violent and drug crimes. The lower house is also expected to debate mandatory jail time for child sex offenders.
The Tasmanian people were outraged when Labor blocked that bill in the Legislative Council. They used their numbers and successfully blocked that bill. It would have been law by now.
We absolutely support longer sentences and tougher sentences, but we also support the court being able to make those decisions. And that's the advice from the experts.
We've got our prisons at the fullest level they've been in a decade, and crime in the past year went up by 10%. On law and order, the Liberals are an epic failure.
Parliament will resume on Tuesday. Tasmanians have been given unprecedented access to some of Launceston's best-known buildings. Curious onlookers getting a rare chance to go deep behind the scenes in a special tour organised by a local Rotary Club.
Hundreds of people drive past the Glasgow Engineering Company every day, but few have seen the extraordinary machinery inside. Heavy-duty equipment stretching back more than a century, the earliest items imported from factories in the UK.
125 years old this year. It's the oldest engineering company in Australia that's still located on its original site.
The history within these walls shared among small tour groups. More than a dozen other prominent buildings also open their doors to the public, including the courthouse, a place you'd usually want to steer clear of. The majestic Macquarie House, also popular. The 4-storey building has stood for nearly 200 years.
The foundations of this were bluestone foundations and well over 1 metre thick, and some of the blocks are estimated to be nearly a tonne in weight.
It has been used for a number of purposes since starting off as a warehouse.
And the goods from here went to establish Melbourne.
And its next life is just about to begin, when this space is converted into a technology hub. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Numbers at this year's Women's 5K were nearly double that of last year. 1,800 people put on their brightest pink outfits this morning, compared with 1,000 in 2016. The fun run starting in City Park and navigated the streets of Launceston. Funds raised from the event will help support those diagnosed with cancer.
So everyone today here is running for someone they know, and that's a really wonderful thing about Tasmania, is that we all get out and we support each other.
The Cancer Council says nearly 9 Tasmanians are diagnosed with cancer every day. Another large crowd has turned out at Hobart's cenotaph to commemorate the Battle of Britain that was fought by German and British forces during the Northern Hemisphere summer of 1940. The solemn occasion was also marked with a special flyover by the RAAF roulettes. More than 500 RAF pilots lost their lives during the battle, including 10 Australians.
Tasmanian boxer Luke Jackson is one step closer to a world title fight after defeating Mexican Humberto de Santiago in Hobart last night. Jackson says he's now ready to take on WBO world featherweight champion Oscar Valdez, and he wants to fight him on home turf.
Before another bumper crowd at Hobart City Hall, the fight was slow going in the early stages as the fighters felt their way forward. De Santiago was looking to land a big right early, while Jackson was content to reply with the jab. The fight opening up in the third as the hometown hero timed his hook to perfection. The Mexican challenger was throwing plenty in the fourth, but a volley from Jackson left him stunned as the crowd began to smell an early victory. But De Santiago came to box, and box he did, even if Jackson rarely let one through in the middle rounds. Action barely taking a backward step as the fight wore on, landing scoring punches at will. Switches in stance by De Santiago, leaving the champion untroubled as he marched to a unanimous points decision.
That's a hard fight, man. You know what? I hit him with some big shots, and you know when I hit him with the big shots, I wasn't even trying. So, you know, like, it's a good fight.
The win taking Jackson's professional record to 15-0 and shortening his odds for a long-awaited crack at a world featherweight title.
I think we've got the best featherweight in the world, but we haven't fought for the world title, so he's not going to get crowned unless we fight for the world title. Yes, we do have the best, one of the best featherweights in the world, not a problem. But
the better the opposition, the better we will fight.
100%.
Andrew McCarthy, Southern Cross News.
South Hobart has crashed out of the national NPL finals after going down to the Brisbane Strikers at Darcy Street. Brisbane opened up the scoring in the 8th minute as Palmer made a break from a midfield turnover. It was 2-0 at the half-time break before the Strikers scored again straight after to make it 3-0. A spirited fight back from South Hobart late in the game, not enough to prevent a 4-2 loss. Illness got the better of Jake Birtwistle at the Triathlon World Championship Grand Final in the Netherlands. The Tasmanian pulled out of the contest, telling fans on Instagram he was watching the rest of the race online, while vowing to have another crack at the title next year. Despite the disappointing end, Birtwistle finishes the triathlon season as the highest-ranked Australian male in 12th overall. The Hobart Hurricanes women's squad has confirmed Emma Thompson and local talent Erin Fazackerley will return to the team for Season 3. While the full list is yet to be announced, Fazackerley says she's confident of making her playing debut this summer.
I've been working on trying to neaten up my technique and try and make my bowling especially as efficient as possible so I can be consistent and get some better pace going.
The Hurricanes' WBBL season begins on December 9.
Good evening. It was a great looking Sunday for most of the state. Hobart 16, Launceston and Burnie 14, Devonport 13. Cambridge took the state's top of 18, 17 for Ouse and Campania and St Helens, 15 in Strawn, Grove and Friendly Beaches and 14 in Wynyard and Maria Island. Mount Wellington had the state's low of -5. Mid to low level clouds started across the west of the state today, travelling to New South Wales and the Queensland coast. High level clouds streamed from east and western Australia to Tasmania. The rest of the country was mostly cloud-free. Up closer, that low-level cloud moved from the west to the north of the state by this afternoon, and tomorrow a cold front will move across Tasmania and Victoria with a low-pressure system forming on the front during the afternoon. A high-pressure system will make its way into the Bight, and a trough is establishing to the west of WA. On the water, north to northwesterly winds 25 knots, increasing to 30 in the north and west. West to southwesterly swells up to 5 metres. A severe wind weather warning is current for the west, south and east. A gale warning now current for northern coastal waters from Sandy Cape to Flinders. Another gale warning for southeast Cape to Low Rocky Point. A strong wind warning for all remaining coastal waters, and a small craft wind alert for the southwest and central plateau. Tomorrow's forecast is 20 and rain for Hobart and 19 in Dover and Ouse. Rain in the north as well. Launceston 17, Devonport and Scottsdale 15. The west has more rain with Burnie and Stanley on 15, Strawn 16. And the east, guess what? Rain. St Helens 17, Swansea 19, Ross 16. The 3-day forecast sees showers contracting to the west and south on Tuesday, snowfall to 500 metres. Wednesday, mostly fine statewide, light showers for the west and south, and Thursday afternoon showers in the west and a chance of showers elsewhere. And taking a look countrywide tomorrow, Perth, mostly sunny, 27, Sydney, sunny, 26, showers developing for Melbourne, 22. And currently 14 in Hobart, partly cloudy, Launceston 10 and cloudy, Devonport 10 and cloudy. And Rach, congratulations, finishing in the top 100 for the women's 5K. Murph tripped me up, so I finished somewhere at the back. Oh, you did a fantastic effort, and I'm quietly chuffed about my PB effort. Thank you for that, Candice. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks so much for your company. Have a great week. Good night.